So what we did was we applied with this client. This was a partnership alignment meeting, and we applied with this client, so our client and their client, a 2-day session, which for us is the foundation of build. So it was rapid, meaning that it was really dense. We reviewed a tremendous amount of research, data, and information. We looked at what was historically strong and historically weak about the relationship. We examined what was happening in the external environment and the world, the conditions that were affecting both organizations, companies, and teams. We looked at the critical factors of where they were aligned, not only from a values or culture perspective, what made them work great together. We also looked at where the value was, if they could work together more efficiently or on bigger, more complex projects. This would be the potential of that relationship. And then we defined strategic drivers for success, which meant this is how they were going to measure success over the next 6 months to a year. This is what the story was going to mean if they won it. This is what it would be for them. And this was how they were going to achieve it. So it was an intense 2-day executive level session for a global company and this local software firm that served them in this B2B space. And the outcome was that it was wildly successful. The terms of agreement that came out of that meeting not only retained that client year over year, but it also, one of the core team members who really challenged the executive owners of this smaller company went to another Big Four. And within 6 months, this $5 million a year annual client was transformed into a $20 million a year global transformation project. Phase 2 of Build is all about capacity building within the organization. These are skills, mindsets, frameworks that are going to allow the incredible talented workforce that you have and transform them into these innovation super machines. We believe at RIDG that everybody is an innovator. We understand the breadth and depth of the innovation process from ideation to scalability. And at some point, once an executive team becomes super clear about where they're going, how they're going to get there, what is priority in order for them to achieve that, they need to equip their teams and their workforce with the appropriate skills to guide that success and sustain that success. So phase 2 of Build is all about future building skills. Some of the frameworks, mental frameworks, business frameworks, facilitation frameworks are part and part, like some of the team members know what these things are. We just tighten up the skill set a little bit more. It's like, think about it like this. Someone who is a college athlete and they are exceptional at what they do. They may end up going to the Olympics, or they may become a lifelong advocate of that sport. They may become a coach one day themselves. They may train others to be able to fulfill or have the experience of, say, cross-country running. But we're capturing them during that height. And I love the idea of college sports because they're most likely academically really strong and also physically really strong in the sport, but they're at that pre-mastery stage. And so what we do is we help them see their skill set through the lens of innovation as it relates to the strategy of the company. So you can tell it's a little bit complex. And we do an entire analysis during the the phase 1 of Build, so that we can provide your team the appropriate skill set for the future building skills. Phase 3 is all about your innovation model. Now at RIDG, we have a core belief. We believe in the power of human potential. We see innovation everywhere. We understand the contribution that every employee makes to an innovation life cycle. Because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, innovation is not about the wild and crazy idea. That is a start. Innovation is all about where you finish. Okay, so we know it's about the outcome, where you're going. So where you finish is something, an idea or product or service that has become profitable for an organization. And right before it gets to its maturity state where it's scaled at its maximum, you're reaching the maximum amount of clients, it's got market viability that has been proven over time. Before it gets there, when it's in its adoption phase, its early adoption phase, it's, you know, that whole life cycle of product growth, it is still necessary that every single person in the company, from the person who comes up with the idea to the people who test it and build it, to the marketing, the beautiful marketing people who put it out there, to the delivery agents who make sure that it's delivered without flaw, to the risk managers who say, okay, before this goes to market, we need to tick off these boxes, cross these T's, dot these I's. Every single person contributes to that innovation being market ready. And then the client contribution to that entire process, incredible, because without the client, the innovation doesn't even exist. It's the whole reason why ideas are out in the world, to serve other people. So we really understand that innovation is as much, if not more, about where you finish and how you finish versus where you start. So we try to connect the whole system. And phase one, as I said, in build is all about this core identity, strategic alignment, prioritization, making smart investments. Phase two is all about really investing in the capacity building of your team so that they are contributing effectively and efficiently to an innovation system. Phase three is all about owning the way you innovate.